Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to another episode of My Two Pips. This morning, we've got non-farm payroll numbers coming out in about 15 minutes. We're going to trade that live. I'm in a few positions right now. The dollar is starting to get a little strong. We'll see how things go. I was actually, some of my gains as far as the trades that I'm in right now over the last, I would say, 30-40 minutes have come back a little bit in anticipation for this number. So we're gonna take a look at everything in a second. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. And also we're gonna look at pips and understanding how to calculate that properly. I was in the chat room earlier and was explaining that to a few people, and so I just want to reiterate that today so you guys can know exactly how much you should be risking depending on your account size. So we'll take a look at all that in a second. Definitely hit me up if you want. Lines are open. I know it's early for some, late for others. 669-900-6833 and the code is 169-861-119. You guys want to talk about anything? Ask me questions. You got questions about trading, Forex? Let me know.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay. Yes, we are about to do it live, people. Welcome to another episode. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me get this chat room up and running. It is about 8:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got non-farm coming in about less than 15 minutes now. What's good, Patrick Drummond? We are in here for sure. Make sure you guys join. I have a Facebook group called the Quant Gang. If you don't know about it, I did tweet about it like the other day. Let me just drop that in the chat room really quickly. It's more so, you know, you guys can talk about whatever in the group, but I just kind of give you guys some of my trades that I go through, so you might as well join so you can know what's going on. Let me drop this in the chat room really quickly. Go ahead and join that. It is free. My man Patrick Drummond said, I'm long again, by the way. Long on what? What are you long on? Oh, Bitcoin. Yeah, definitely. We can look at that too as well. My algo, we went long Bitcoin. Let me see. Let me bring that up for you so you can see that as well. We actually went long Bitcoin, I think yesterday or so. As you can see right there, almost 2 days ago, we went long on Bitcoin. Rohith, how are you? Thanks for joining today. So yeah, we're up on Bitcoin right now, 4.5%. So we'll see how this goes. You know, it can wipe out 4.5% in 5 minutes. So I'm never, you know, when it comes to crypto, man, it's a minute by minute thing, man, with those pairs. So we're long Bitcoin. We are really long and up on, pause no homo, up on Ethereum. Look at that trade on Ethereum. We're up 13% right now. on Ethereum. But we'll get to that. We'll talk crypto if you guys want to after the news comes out. But what I want to show you guys are my current trades right now. And we'll get into more details about that as well. But the non-farm payroll that's coming out later today, in a couple of minutes actually, is normally a very volatile period for FX. Every month is normally some nice price action. You can make some money if you're playing the markets, and so that's why this report is always an important one. It comes out with unemployment as well. Unemployment is looked to stay at 3.5%, so we shouldn't see much of a surprise on that number. I think consensus is 3.5, no problem. Let me get this music down a little bit more. But the non-farm consensus is kind of all around. Some are saying 160K, some are saying 163, as you see right here in this one. But if we take a look at, I think I have a list of banks that are talking about it. So Wells Fargo thinks it's going to be 160 flat. We've got Deutsche Bank says 163. Oh, consensus is 163. They think 160 flat as well. I don't know who TDS is. I don't think that's TD Waterhouse. I don't know who that is. But the consensus is around ING is saying 150 versus 160. So they think it's going to be lower than expected. But this is important simply because off the backs of we got the, Trump being acquitted. The whole economy's doing well theme. Wall Street's on edge with the coronavirus. So if they get a solid number, it's going to look very like they're going to jump on that. I think they're going to really jump on that. Wall Street, that is. And we could see some nice price action going on from that. What's going on, the Tech Geek? Holla, that's right. One of my YouTube members. I have to answer pop quiz to enter the group CB. Yes, definitely. It's 2 questions, fairly easy. If you don't know it, Google it. And you'll be able to get in there. Will45, what's going on, bro? So, yeah, man, it should be fireworks today. The dollar is gaining strength. It's like the Dixie is at almost like yearly all-time highs at like 98.5, I think. So it's strong. The dollar is, and if we come in with this number stronger than expected, you're going to see the dollar surge. So what does that mean, CB? You may ask. Well, if the dollar surges, it depends on what pairs you're in. So the euro yen, as I've told you guys before, if the dollar is in front in that particular pair, that means if you're actually buying it, that means you're buying the dollar. You believe the dollar is going to be strong. You think that, so if the dollar it becomes strong off of this news, we will see a move upward, right? Unfortunately, my algo is short right now. Still in the money a little bit on this trade. Zoom in a little bit, but I do have my stop tightened up right here. It's right above my pivot line that will switch to go long. This was the original stop loss right here, so I tighten that up. And I normally do that when you have major news coming out. Might as well tighten things up so that you just kind of, if the move is big, you can at least try to get out with as little slippage as possible. As little slippage as possible, because these moves can be violent. So even if you have a stop loss at right here, if it's a violent move, you may have a slippage of 15 pips or so. So that's why I tighten up my stops when it comes to, big news like this. So we also have my Euro Yen pair, which I just closed my short on. As you guys can see, that was a nice, decent return there. So it reversed. It didn't go long yet, but it did reverse and close the short position we were in. So that's cool. I don't have to manage that one. I should go long, but I'm just going to let the algo, because I have a delay on a reversal trend. I have a delay on how many bars out before we go long. I've optimized that for each pair. It tends to, you get better. Each pair has its own ebb and flow. So you're going to get better profitability if you backtest it, seeing which, shift your long entries by X amount of bars, shift your short entries by X amount of bars. I hone those in and get a good optimal performance out of each pair. So UK Ranja, what's going on, man? Nice. You say you up on Dash Trade, $150. Wish you luck. Yeah, alt's doing real good, man. Alt's doing real good. Altcoins doing real well in the crypto markets. Here's another trade. Pound yen. I was short this as well. We're almost close to a reversal in this trade as well. I am down on this position right now, but that's cool. But this is a big one. Pound Aussie went long here and up 100 pips on that one. That's 100 pips. I did take like 20%, manually took 20% off at this support or resistance line. Even though my algos trade, I take my systems and I put it into code. Even though it trades automatically, I do set up support and resistance areas to do manual take profits. You just got to do that, because I don't have my algo. My algo doesn't know where support and resistance is. So all good. John Hill said shorted the CAD. I don't have the CAD, man. My algo. Someone was talking about the CAD in a room earlier. I can't get my algo to work properly on the CAD because it really doesn't move that much. It'll move on news and then it'll just go back to sitting like idle. I need price action all the time, or at least throughout the week without any major news. You normally get a lot of violent moves with CAD. I will say that. You can maybe manually trade the CAD on news because it does move. It'll move 130 pips like within 5 minutes. We got the pound dollar. I'm up on that one. We're close to, actually we closed that position as well. So let's take a look. We're getting ready to have this news come out. I'm going to get over to the chat. They have a live stream on FX Street where you can kind of see what's going on. And actually, I have my, let's do this. We can look at the TV as well. I got CNBC streaming. Let's see.
Before we get the number, literally in 60 seconds, Jason Furman, Harvard Kennedy School professor and former Council of Economic Advisors chairman, Michael Strain, American Enterprise Institute Policy Studies director, our guest host, Jason Straner, who's been who's been hanging out with us all morning, and CNBC's own.
Let's see, I'm going to zoom out so we can see all charts right now.
I'm gonna go here because you're at the table, so let's start here.
160 right on the screws. That's what we're looking for.
160 right on the screws is where you land. Where do you land?
145.
Shall we go? What's Rickster say out there?
218, 218.
218. Okay, and is that with?
Now there is a little delay on my stream from CNBC.
We want to go to.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's see what's going on really quickly. I'm gonna come into the charts.
Furman,
Zoom
Mr.
in.
Furman,
185.
and Mr. AEI.
130.
Okay, we're going to Elon Mui right now. She's got the jobs report number.
225,000 non-farm payrolls rose by 225,000
Wow, that's way
jobs
above
in January, well above
expected.
expectations. The unemployment rate edged up from 3.5 to 3.6%. Average hourly earnings, those rose a solid 7 cents to $28.44 over the month. That's a 0.2% increase, and it is a 3.1% increase over the year. Now, job gains for the previous 2 months were revised upward as well, albeit modestly. November's number was revised upward by 5,000 jobs, from 256,000 to 261,000. December's number up by 2,000 jobs, from 145,000 to 147,000. All told, that is 7,000 jobs more than previously reported, and it puts the 3-month moving average now at 211,000 jobs. The sectors that were driving that job growth in January: construction led the way with 44,000 jobs added, both in residential and non-residential construction. Healthcare and the leisure and hospitality industries, both of those sectors added 36,000 jobs. Manufacturing, however, continued its decline for the second straight month, losing 12,000 jobs in January. The labor force participation rate, that rose in January. It was up 0.2 percentage points to 63.4%. And the data shows there was a large number of re-entrants. Those are people who previously had been working, then they left the
Nah,
labor
Trump
force
ain't
and
playing,
now
Pat.
they're looking for work again. Their ranks rose
Dude, this is crazy.
183,000 in January.
That
And the
is
Labor Department
crazy,
said
bro.
that is a
Trump got this
statistically significant
economy
increase.
on
Finally,
fire.
Q6, the broadest measure of unemployment, that ticked up from an all-time
This is
low
what
of
Trump's saying right here,
6.7%
people.
in December
That's why I got this.
9 billion,
Guys,
$240 million.
That's right, Trump.
I think the
Tell him how much.
is Rick Santelli.
It is.
Especially
Tell him
when
how
prices are
much.
low. So we're going to go to Rick first.
Price right rules. Yeah, price right rules. I don't think it mattered. Listen, this number
Yeah,
has
that's
so
crazy.
many
So,
interesting things, but I'll obviously jump
I
on
didn't
what
really
always
see
gets me
too
excited.
much action, surprisingly, with the pairs that I trade.
Unemployment rate, that's the
Now,
wider
I did
swap
add
went
2
up.
more pairs. I
However,
forgot to
for a
tell
very
everybody.
good reason,
I got 2 more
because
pairs running. I
participation
started
went up.
those
And I can't think of a better
2 nights
thing to
ago.
occur to bring more people into
And
the
those are the
workforce.
Swiss
Of course, the
yen
average
pair.
hourly
This
earnings
one
year
here.
over year up 3.1. That was also
And
solid.
the
rest of the
Australian
report, nothing
CAD
huge.
or
Obviously, the
Aussie
unemployment rate
Looney
ticked up
pair,
as well. So
which,
U3 and U6.
as you
But
see,
as I said, welcoming more workers
CAD,
in
as
this
I told you
funding
guys, CAD will
expansion
move.
is a wonderful
And this
thing.
is a cross pair,
Okay,
exotic.
let's get out to Jason, Mr.
I don't
Furman.
know if I would consider this exotic. Maybe a minor
You can't argue.
pair.
You can't argue with a higher
And
labor
you're seeing
force
how that's reacting. I'm
participation
up on that trade
rate,
pretty
the higher
nicely.
employment rate that you
Went
saw in
short
this, a little
yesterday
bit
evening,
affirming
up
of
85
wage
pips on
growth.
that. So I'm gonna
I
let
think
that
the big
ride out.
question, though, is how much the economy as a whole is going to grow this year. We saw it slow for the last 2 years. The first quarter, it's looking set for something like 2%.
So those are the
growth.
2 additional
How
pairs I
much
have
further can the labor market go
going on. So
without
so
overall
far,
economic growth picking up?
this
We'll see.
this
Michael,
week
glass half full,
has been
glass
a
half
really
empty.
good week. I'm gonna turn this CNBC down really quickly. This week has been really good. I did the calculations prior to coming on for pips. 506 pips this week. I was at, I think, 640 something pips on Monday. I knew, you know, you probably the market's going to take some pips back from you. It's just what it is. So good week this week. And I think it's really because of the coronavirus scare, to be honest with you. We started the week off with a lot of volatility. The moves were pretty intense in one way or the other, depending on which pair you were in. But yeah, it was a good week this week so far. And let me see. Let me get back to the charts really quickly. So it was a good week so far, and I'll probably close out the week near 600 pips. Depending on how the rest of this day goes, but definitely looking good here, people. Look at that wick. Wow. On the pound, on the yen there, the yen pair. Let me check my MetaTrader real quick on my phone.
Concerns that you saw last week, not this week, will probably dissipate. By the same token, I think I'm not sure we're out of the woods with some of the other kind of macro issues, whether it's Boeing or coronavirus or some of those other things which may depress economic growth in the first half of this year.
So my pound yen pair closed. I gotta see why. Maybe my stop got hit. Let me see. Pound yen. Yeah, my stop got hit on my pound yen. Probably had it too close to my pivot line. But my yen is still going strong. It's still short. And I actually should put my order back in on my pound yen. I really should, because I think we're going to head lower. We saw a bounce off of that area, this area right here. And I think we're probably going to head lower, to be honest with you. I think we're going to head lower. So also today, we're going to be talking about, again, pips and understanding and calculating your pips. That's very important. So I see so many people over trading their accounts. That's the #1 reason you can't succeed in Forex, is because you over trade your account. So we're going to talk about that tonight or today as well. But let me just check something really quickly. Let me cycle through all the trades again. I really should get back into my
I do not know at this point if that's related to what happened with Boeing, but there could be worse to come.
Pound yen trade.
I'm just gonna leaven the whole excitement. It's great. 200,000 is great.
To be honest with you, and I think I'm getting ready to do that. Let me do that really quickly, guys, before we go forward. If you guys want to give me a call, do that. Hit me up. I know it's early. So what? I gotta do it through my trading view panel, alerts panel, so that it has the ID, so the algo can trigger to close it automatically. If I do it manually, it won't close my trades because I have IDs paired to each trade. So I gotta make sure I do that. So let me just put this trade back in on the pound yen so we can get back in this trade on the short side. So doing that right now.
Decelerate and look a lot more like the underlying potential growth rate of the economy, 2%. Why? Because the fiscal stimulus from the Trump administration's tax cuts and spending increases has petered out. You're going to see, I think.
All right, so we're back in that trade.
Reduce to something.
So yeah, we're going to talk about pips, calculating. #1 reason. #1 reason you can't sustain profits in this game is because people overtrade their accounts. And the analogy I have with that is that if you're running a race, let's say you're in the Indy 500 race. If you run out of gas, you can no longer race, right? Same analogy can be used with trading. It doesn't matter what it is, cryptos, Forex, whatever. If you run out of money, you can no longer trade. You're gonna miss the opportunities to make money because you ran out of money. So you got to trade appropriate to your account size, and it's so important. And we're going to look at that. I'm going to mute this CNBC real quick. But that's so important to know how to do that. Dow futures are down 118 points right now, 0.5%, almost 0.5%. I wonder where Tesla is, boy. That thing got slaughtered. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's look at this spreadsheet I created. Created this spreadsheet. Let's see where it is. There it is. So check this out, people. So this spreadsheet here essentially breaks it down for you the easiest way it can be. So micro lots, those are essentially when you see in like if you're trading Forex, you'll see in your account 0.01 lot size. That's a micro lot. So that represents $1,000. So you're essentially, whatever you buy or sell, and you did, let's say 0.01, you essentially took $1,000 on margin or borrowed, buy it from your broker. You took $1,000 and you bought or sold that particular asset, that particular currency. So with a micro lot, one micro lot, it is 10 cents per pip. So if you go up 10 pips, you're up $1. All right. So the example of that would be if you were trading the euro dollar, you entered a position, you will be down 14 cents out the gate. That is the spread, the cost for that particular trade, right? That's what that means. So if we go look at pound yen, each pair is going to have a different spread, right? The spread on the pound yen is 4.5 pips. So you're talking about 40 cents if you're trading one micro, $4.1 or $4.10 if you're trading one mini lot, so on and so forth. So let me just go over the mini lots. Mini lots is 0.1 of a lot. That represents $10,000 in borrowed cash that you're trading with. All right. So again, 1 pip up or down is $1. The spread on the euro dollar in this case will be $1.40. If you purchase, enter the position on the euro dollar, you're either, you're going to be down $1.04, or 40 cents, I should say. On the pound yen, you'll be down $4.10. So one lot is just one. In your broker, you'll see you can purchase euro dollar for one lot. That is representative of $100,000 that you're borrowing to buy or sell that particular currency pair. 1 pip equals $10 per tick up or down. Okay, most of you probably don't need to be trading one lot or even anywhere close to one lot, because the markets can move 10 pips in a matter of seconds or minutes, depending on which pair, but you can easily move up or down 10 pips. That's $100. If you only got $300 in your account, that is not a good look. That is not a good look. So that's kind of giving you an example of that. The spread is on a lot would be $14 if you bought or sold the euro dollar. Pound yen will be $41. You will be down out the gate. Now granted, pound yen moves way faster than a lot of these other major pairs, so you'll make that up fairly quickly if it's moving in the the trend or direction that you place your trade. So with that being said, if you look down here, stop loss param. So these are the stop loss parameters that I have set for my algos for the 6 main pairs that I trade. All right, and so what that means is that my stop loss, the max you're gonna lose on a trade with the pound dollar, is 32 pips on the long side, 48 pips on the short side. So let me just explain or illustrate visually what that means. So let me get over to the chart so you guys can see this. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Glad I got back in that short on the pound yen. It's heading lower. Let me see. I just need to see my chat. All right, so no one's chatting. Okay, so let me just explain this really quickly. So in the example of pound dollar, let's go over to pound dollar. Let's toggle through here. Here we go, pound dollar. So with the pound dollar on the algo chart, you'll see that red line at the top above the market. This line right here, that line right there, that is a stop loss point for a short trade. So for my shorts, as you can see, 48 pips away. So at max, you will only lose 48 pips on that trade. If it just completely goes opposite direction, something crazy happens, news out of nowhere comes through, taps us out of our position. That's the max you'll lose, 48 pips. On the long side, if I scroll over some more, get this here. So if I scroll over some more, You will see on the long side, you see the green dot, solid green line at the bottom. That is the stop loss on your long side. Now at the point of crossing, because I have this mapped out, my guide for determining when to go reverse the position and go short. At this point right here, on all the pairs that you see, if you have access to the chart, once this line crosses above the stop loss, that is no longer, the stop loss is for the most part no longer going to be your max loss. It's going to be this line now. So this line is going to be your your new max loss for your position. So as you go forward, I calculated to move up depending on the price action. It moves up. So it's almost like a trailing stop, but it's a smart trailing stop. I don't like using trailing stops because trailing stops, first of all, yeah, they lock in your gains, but they also, in many cases, prevent you from getting all of your gains. So that's why I don't really like trailing stops. I rather use, and this is what in my strategies that I developed with algos, I use a more intelligent way of determining when to pivot and head in the other direction. So that's what we're doing here. So that line now becomes your stop loss essentially. And as you cross it, if we cross and close below it, it will close the trade as you see it happen there, and we lock in those gains on that particular trade. So that's how you look at that. So back to the actual spreadsheet though. So what does this mean? This means you can take if you're trading 1 micro, you basically times 10 cents, because the pip amount for each of these lot sizes, as you can see here, I have highlighted, depending on which you're doing, micro lot, mini lot, or a full lot, that's how you determine how much each pip is going to cost you, right? So on a micro, or I should say mini lot, it's going to be $1. That's 0.1. If you're trading 0.1 per trade, that's $1. All right. So that means you're not going to just be trading one pair. In the example of my algos, I have 8 pairs on the table, or potentially on the table at any given time. So that's $1 times 8. So $8 potentially. That's the max. Worst case scenario, $8 per pip, right? Times how far away your stop loss is on if you're long or short. So that's how much you potentially could lose in a given trade. So that's how you determine what your lot size should be. The more lots or the more pairs you trade, you want to pretty much probably reduce your lot size, because you have to kind of calculate all the other exposures you have on the table. So if you have $300, then you probably you probably don't even want to trade one mini, to be honest with you. You may want to trade maybe 5 micro lots, which would be like 50 cents per pip. Because if we use this example here, I'm just going to do a quick calculation. Bring out the calculator really quickly for you guys. I'm just going to add up all of these pips here as far as stop losses. I'm just going to hypothetically say we're in a long on all 6 of these pairs. So that's going to be 32 plus 38 plus 38 plus 28 plus 26 plus 22. That's 180 pips, 184 pips to be exact, that you have an exposure if you had all 6 trades on the table. Just hypothetically saying all longs. And most likely it wouldn't be all longs just because of the type of pairs these are. Some of those are kind of opposite of each other. But 184 pips in risk. If you're doing 5 mini lots, or 5 micro lots, I should say, 0.05, That's going to be 184 times 0.05, or 50 cents, I should say. 50 cents. So essentially it's just half. So I'm just going to divide by 2. So 92 bucks on that particular trade if you had all 6 pairs on the table at one time. So that's a little bit more in line. I mean, if you got $300, you know what I'm saying? Are you willing to risk, if worst case, and you got to go worst case scenario, or you got to go, what if you have X amount of trades that you lose in a row consecutively? Now, the more pairs you have on the table, the less likely you're going to lose on all 6 or all 8 pairs in one fell swoop. That's very low probability, but I'm just saying you got to kind of judge that. So if you got 6 pairs, you're trading 0.05 or 5 micro lots, 92 bucks. Not too bad if you let's say you have $200, $300, something like that. Not too bad. You could deal with that. But if you're trading 5 minis, 1 mini, per trade or whatnot, that's you changing the it's gonna mess you up. You're talking about losing possibly $920. You only got $300, so you can see you won't even be able to place that many trades in there. But I'm just giving you the margin won't allow you to do that. But I'm just kind of giving you guys a kind of an example of how that works. So I hope that is helpful for those getting your feet wet with this trading Forex. And you can always find, I don't know what brokerage you guys use, but on Traders Way you can always go to markets, and then under markets you can go to Forex, and then under Forex instruments, and then for my algo I trade variable accounts, and from there you can see the average spread for each pair, and that'll help you out. That will help you understand your risk exposure there. So that's pretty much it though for today, ladies and gents. We'll cycle through these trades one more time, see how we're doing, and then we'll close up shop for today. So let's get back over to the charts really quickly. As you can see, I'm gonna get back over here. So we're waiting to go long on the pound dollar here soon. I have a delay of 9 bars. So 9 times 5 will give you the actual minutes as far as the delay in time I have for that particular trade. So that should be good. I put the delay on these trades again simply because normally when you have a shift in sentiment that I've noticed, you normally get like a pullback. You'll get a slight pullback. And then, I can buy in even lower, maybe around here or somewhere in this region. And guess what? I'm closer to the switch or pivot point to go short again. So I'm really mitigating a lot of my risk. If I'm buying in down here, you could literally, if you do your calculations, that's why you need to, you need to have a calculator on your desk or somewhere near you on the computer, because you can do your calculations really quickly and say, oh, if I'm near where we would switch to go short anyhow, or my position long would close, I can double up on my lot size because I'm still going to risk the same amount versus if I were, coming into it normally with the stop loss where it is 35 pips or whatever away. If I'm right there and I'm only going to risk like 10 pips, you could literally 3x your trade position. So stuff like that you'll learn over time, and you can really accelerate your gains if you are savvy enough and understand what you're doing. It takes some time, but you can do it with some practice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me see what we got in the chat rooms real quick. UK Ron just said, I haven't traded FX in nearly a decade, but I remember pound yen used to be a wild. Yes, pound yen used to be even worse than it is now. It used to be a very volatile pair. I'm talking about 100 pips with no news. Middle of the day, it didn't matter. That thing would swing around crazily. So yes, pound yen is still one of the more active ones for sure. But let's take a look at some of the other pairs really quickly before we get out of here. So pound, dollar, that's pending a long position. We're still short the pound or euro pound. Zoom in so you guys can see that. So we went short up here. Still short that position. Still short dollar yen. Had a wild little whiplash there, but still short that. Close my short position on the euro yen. That was about 43 pips there. Now I do have I created additional algo that I overlaid on all of my charts where it takes profit. So I figured a way out to maximize some of my returns. Sometimes you'll be up a lot and then the markets will move kind of in the other direction before it switches to go long. So I've added another algo on top of this to where those yellow dots you see are take profit. So that I took 30% off the table here on this particular trade. So anytime you see a yellow dot on a short, that's a short cover. I've taken 30% off. If you see a white dot, I took 30% or sold 30% of my long position just to lock in those gains, baby. Got to lock in those gains. So euro, pound, yen still short, or I went back short with you guys right when we got in, about right here when we went live. I went back short because I got tapped out. Pound Aussie still strong, over 100 pips on that one. Back to pound dollar. Yeah, that's it for today. Again, I do have two more pairs, the Swiss yen and the Aussie CAD. I was able to get those locked and loaded with the algo. Let me see here. Crypto Yo, do you predict we break 10K on Bitcoin today? Probably. We're starting to factor in that have an event, man, in May. We got less than 100 days to go, so definitely we're long both that and Ethereum. So we're cracking them on Ethereum, 13% or so up on Ethereum right now. So yeah, I think 10K will be cracked, at least if not today, over the weekend. I think so. Definitely think so. So yeah, like and share, subscribe, all that good stuff, people. If you got more questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them. That is pretty much it. I'm out of here. Holla.
Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay.